What's up, everybody? Zach here, and this is another episode of What's Melting. Today I'm working on these silver fumed Christmas ornaments. I'm going to start out with the first one that's going onto this uh, 32 by 4 simax tube. I'm going to fume onto the blank, and then I will put a bunch of dots down on it. So I'll start here by constricting down that opening that I've broken down the tubing at, and I'll be handling up with a section of 10 mil tubing. Just get those two lips white hot and close to the same size, and then touch them in the flame, and then keep rolling. Right here, I'll dip out of the flame, and I'll just keep on turning until that handle sits up pretty straight. And I actually stretch that out a little bit. I wanted to use a bit of that tubing as the loop that'll hang the ornament at the end. So right now I'm going to heat up a section of the tubing where I want to separate the amount of glass away that I want to use for the piece. So I'll roll that against the corner of my marver real quick. This puts a bit of a sharp line into the tubing, and I'll be able to wiggle it and snap it real quick. You can use a few different tools like V blades or diamond shears for that, but I find that's a quick and easy way to go for me. I'm going to pick this shut with a 10 mil rod here, and then I'll start puffing that out and rounding out the bottom so that it's a nice even wall. I'm going to puff this out a little bit more too before I fume, just to kind of get the tubing thinned out a little bit before I work the silver. I find if I apply the silver a little bit later in the process, I can keep it a lot more clean. It doesn't reduce as much. If I fume right onto the raw blank, I often feel like there's a little more reduction. I'm sure I could avoid that with a bit better flame chemistry, but this seems to be my most reliable, repeatable way to do this. Like I said, I get that puffed out a little bit round, but not even close to the size that I'll want. And I've got a little bead of silver on the end of a quartz rod there, and I warm it up in the flame. And then I'll make sure the whole surface of that blank is coated with that. You get this nice yellow kind of goldy color, but it's all silver. There you see some of the colors starting to show. Now I'm going to start putting the dots down. So these dots are going to trap in a little bit of that silver and kind of actually protect the silver on the surface in between the dots just by displacing the flame. The silver on the surface, if you work it a little too heavily with the oxygenated flame, it can really burn away a lot of the silver that you fume onto the blank. So the dots actually really help keep the silver in the glass. But yeah, you see I just keep on rotating in the flame and placing another dot in between where the previous two dots on the last row were. I start with one in the center, surround it by 6, and then continue down the bubble every time, just putting a dot in between the previous ones. And the whole timing and rhythm of putting dots down on the glass like this is really how you get even dots. You want to try and space them evenly, and keep them all the same size. It helps condense the glass at the end and puff them everything out nice and round, and not having one side be heavier or thinner. So this kind of like repetitive project where you're probably going to make a whole bunch of Christmas ornaments is a good time to practice keeping those walls nice and even, putting everything down carefully and evenly, just because that repetition really helps build that muscle memory in your hands. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on throwing dots down on here. I think I do speed the footage up even a little more. I was at double time, and I think at this point we're at quadruple, just to rush through the last few dots. I think that was the last of them, and I'm going to heat the whole thing up now. So you'll see I'll turn on the second stage of my torch here and really get the whole thing hot, and I'll puff it out a couple times. Yeah, you can really see that color there. And the silver, once it gets worked in, it will really kind of change to more of a blue color. But at this point, it definitely has this goldy metallic tone. Yeah, got that second stage on the torch going. I'm working on a Bethlehem Grand Sharp Flame, so right now it's pretty much running the Bravo flame with the sharp flame center. Here we go. We'll see this expand as I puff. It really gets to rounding out quite nicely if you do everything evenly. Got a couple angles on the puff there, and I'll go in for a second heat. I think I'm going to pick up a rod to handle up to the bottom and work in the dots closest to the handle a little bit more. It's often hardest to work those in without getting a handle on the other side because you're trying to avoid heating up your blow tube too much. So there's often a little bit of a heat gradient that you try to leave that makes sure that that end of the blank stays stiff until you get a handle on the other side like this. And I'm really just going to give this, I think, one or two heats and then puff it out and condense it back in a little bit and get that handle right off the bottom. I've just done a cold seal, so that handle should crack away very easily. And there you can see puffing and evening out those dots at the top. Got another angle again for you on the blow. And then we'll knock that on the edge of the torch, get that handle away. See, real quick, easy cold seal is a very convenient way to handle up when you need to work things in quickly like that. And now one more heat, trying to get that to blow out like a nice even globe. Just working your way around from one side to the other, making sure the whole thing has a very even glow and preferably a pretty close to even wall weight. Get out of the heat and then you pause. You kind of keep rolling and pause and then puff. You can see it'll expand into a nice circular shape. You can also see at this point the color of the silver has changed on the glass. Starting to get more of those blue tones at this point. Yeah, looking pretty good. I think the next step will be to heat a little pinhole and puff out a opening. This is just to stop from fully sealing the globe as you close off the blow tube. That'll just create a vacuum, and it can make a lot of these things very prone to cracking if you seal glass in and don't do it very carefully. It's possible to make fully sealed bubbles like this, but it is a very careful process doing it. So I grabbed my grabbers. These are my economy grabbers. They're good enough for this process here. Just grab onto the whole globe after warming it up a bit because you don't want to shock the glass with a cold piece of metal. And then I start heating up that end that I stretched out before until it condenses and closes up. And then I'll stretch it out. And I'm looking for that to be somewhere between like 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch thick and maybe an inch long. And then I'll heat up the whole thing, kind of condense the tip first so that I have a nice bit of glass to touch after I curl this around. Yeah, I let that droop, grab it with the tweezers and twist it around. Then I'll press it against the marver a little bit. That'll just help close the gap a little. And I'm almost touching, but not quite, and I'll use the tweezers to push that closed the rest of the way. And I like to do that connection inside the flame so everything melts in immediately. And then I adjust it a little bit. Then I'll pick up my pointed reamer and I'll get rid of any acute angle where that connection was made. And I'll spend a little bit of time putting heat into that and trying to straighten it out. And I like to have a nice circular loop on the top, so the the pointed reamer is a good tool for that. As you can see, just going from each side, making sure it's nice and straight. And I'll get that off of the grabbers, use my tongs, and transfer that to the kiln. And then we're going to move on to the scalloped tubing. So that's a section of simax profile tubing with it has ridges on the interior, as you can see on the end of the tube right here. So once again, I'm going to handle up to that with a section of 10 mil tubing. I pretty much always use 10 mil tubing for my blow tubes, except when I do some inside out fume work. I do like to move up to a larger handle, so things work a little differently, but that's not for this video. So I just heat up that section once again, and then I keep rolling until I have that handle setting up and everything's rolling pretty straight and true. And once again, heat up a little band. It's getting a little bit short. I usually try to handle up to the other end of a piece of tubing like this, and I'll get a blow tube on both sides before I section them down, but I just for the sake of doing the video, I grabbed the first chunk of tubing off the bench, and I didn't feel like prepping another blow tube for that. So I got my fingertips a little warm and pulled that apart. But here I'll condense a little glass and round out the bottom here. Next, I'll handle up to that tip that I just puffed out, and then I'm going to start twisting this up. Once again, I want to puff this out a little bit before I put the silver on, and then work the silver in and puff the piece out to the final shape after that. And I'm just twisting and turning and setting all those lines into a twist around the tube. And really, I'm just dragging with my right hand. What I'm going to do is actually even stop at certain points. I pretty much just let the rod in my right hand rest, and I keep spinning. So there, I puff that out. I'm getting close to the shape that I'd like for before I fume, but my lines didn't twist out at the two ends quite as much as I'd like, so I go back in on those two parts and continue to twist. And as you can see, my right hand really stops doing anything. But yeah, puffing this out again, getting that a little more round. I think we're ready for silver, and I just ripped that handle right off of there. Nice cold seal. It's pretty easy to just flex it and pull it away. So now I'm going to pick up that quartz rod with a bit of silver again. I'm just going to start coating that blank. You want kind of a neutral to slightly oxidizing flame to put silver on and keep it at the most crisp kind of blue. If you have too much propane in the flame, it'll really start to reduce and you get much creamier, whitish kind of colors. And you can see that nice kind of goldy color. That's what I'm looking for usually when I'm doing these. Now just heating that up. Gonna try and get that whole blank as evenly hot as possible. So you're watching that color, hoping that, or trying to keep that glow very even. You don't want to spend too long on either side, just bouncing back and forth, and really trying to avoid heating up that blow tube too much. And then puff, puff, puff. This ornament was quite a bit smaller than the first one, so I am going to put in another heat on this and puff it out again, but I prefer not to thin the glass too much. I don't want them to be too fragile. These things, I dropped one of these on my hardwood floor the other day from about 4 feet up, and people always worry about them being fragile, and they really aren't. So there we have it. See that nice blue that came out of that silver? Gonna pop that hole close to where the little loop's gonna be made. There we go. Sharp flames, great pinpoint flame for that. And I use a reamer sometimes to push that little blowout that happens as you puff that sort of thing every so often. So here I grab that with the grabbers again, and I actually had that a little off center, so I picked that up again and opened it up and straightened out the blow tube so it wasn't wobbling. I'm really trying to make sure all my handles are on straight. It makes your life so much easier. And as the more you work with straight handles, the more you can feel the glass turn true, and it becomes really kind of like a second nature. You can feel when handles are out of true, and you can kind of correct them as you go fairly quickly. Yeah, you see me stretching out that tail once again, probably eighth of an inch to 3/16 of an inch thick, and maybe an inch long, if that. Let it droop. I often pull it out just a little bit, and from that drooping point, grab on the end and twist it around. Then I leave a little bit of a gap and I touch that together in the flame, just like last time. Using that reamer once again, there's always a little V shape that's at that connection point, and I just like to open it up with that. Yeah, well, hope you guys enjoyed. These ornaments are a pretty good seller for me at craft fairs. It's not the most engaging project to build, but Christmas season calls for it. So I got a few of these on the tree. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love to get your feedback in the comments. Have a good one, guys.